How do you register as a freelancer? Coming up. Hello and welcome back to the Freelanceverse. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming back to the channel and thanks for the support on last week's specialized episode. It was received very well and I really enjoy making these. This week, however, is going to be a more laid-back video again. I'm just going to talk about the topic. I recently made a video, or just the last video of 2021. I talked about registering as a freelancer, and I said in this video that I can make a video about this topic, but it would just be very specific to my situation, to Belgium. But still in the comments I got a lot of replies saying, please do this, it's still relevant to us, mostly to Europeans. So this is what this video is going to be about, how to register as a freelancer. Now, I registered as a freelancer in 2 countries, in the Netherlands and in Belgium. I moved my business here in 2018 and it was already an established business, so that changes also a bit about the whole process. As I said, it's going to be specific to Belgium, but especially if you are in the European Union, it's going to be very similar to this experience and hopefully still useful for you guys. So first off, what matters a lot is where you are from, right? If you are from an EU member state or from an EFTA member state, you won't have any problems. You are allowed to come here and to work here without any work permit, right? However, if you're coming from an outside EU or EFTA state, you have to apply for a professional card, professional permit. You can request this card at the embassy in your home country, so before you come here it makes sense to apply for that already. I think it's 140 or 150 euros and it lasts for 1 to 5 years depending on your status. Of course, this is for foreigners, so if you're a Belgian you don't need to worry about that at all. Next up on the list is registering a business. So you have to think of your services that you want to offer, very clear but not too narrow, so don't just go translation, like go larger, go broader, right? Go language service or go communication. That's what I did, and now I can also do the YouTube in this same registration, so you don't need to add another registration to it. And you can think of your trading name. Most sole entrepreneurs, most freelancers register under their legal name as a trading name. You are liable with your own personal money, right? So you mostly just register as Adrian Probst, my name. I also have a brand name called French Translation, so I also put this in there. So my trading name is French Translation / Adrian Probst, but it doesn't really matter. It says it on my invoice and that's it. So the next step is you have to register your business at the Chamber of Commerce. In Belgium, this is called Crossroads Bank for Enterprises, or Banque Carrefour des Entreprises, or Kruispunktbank van Ondernemingen, or Zentrale Unternehmensdatenbank. So whatever language you use that works in the Belgian legal system, just look up this entity and you have to register there. So once you do this, you get a unique ID, a company ID that is then also your tax ID, your tax number. The best way to do this registration is through an agency they're called Entreprise Agréée. Next up, you need to register for tax and social security payments. Like all self-employed people in Belgium are required to follow this. You have to pay taxes and social security. There are some exemptions to the amount of revenue that you gain. If you don't go over a certain amount of revenue, I'm not sure how much it is, but until a certain amount, you just pay a flat fee. I think it's 700 euros per quarter as social security, and then once you go over this threshold, it's just tax brackets, and you're quite high. You're quite quickly in the highest social security bracket. Unfortunately, I've always been in the highest since I'm here in Belgium. But yeah, you pay a lot of administration and taxes fees here, but there are worse things to pay money for, in my opinion. You are legally obliged to keep track of your income, your expenses, and your hours worked. So make sure you have a system. My hours worked and my expenses I just track in a Google Sheets file. And my income I track in my order management file. And yeah, like this I have everything together every quarter. If you want help in the beginning, you can make use of the NGO called SMART, S-M-A-R-T, all in capital letters. I have a couple of friends here who use their service. It's really cool because how it works, like they basically take all the taxes and all the invoicing away from you, and then you invoice them, they pay you, and they deal with the rest. So you don't have any hassle about authority stuff. But of course you have to pay them a commission. And I heard that it makes sense until you earn like 25k a year gross. It makes sense to work with them, but afterwards it gets too expensive because the percentage of commission stays the same, right? So if you earn more and more, the price you pay them gets more and more. And I've never worked with them because when I moved here, my business was up and running, and I didn't need. I just hired an accountant, you know, and I pay him like, I don't know, 500-600 euros a year. I give him all my documents, all my files, and he saves me way more money than that. So it's a great deal. I would recommend to hire a good accountant. If you are in Belgium, if you are in Brussels and you want a recommendation, reach out to me and I can give you the name. Speaking of 25k a year, this is also the threshold for VAT taxes. If you don't make more than 25k a year, you don't need to worry about charging VAT, paying it, claiming it back, none at all, right? Only if you earn more than that, it becomes relevant, but it becomes mandatory. Basically, you have to do it. But as I said, my accountant does all this for me. This is a quarterly thing you have to do. So yeah, if you want to do it alone, it's possible, but I just really like this hassle-free system. I just every quarter I send all my files, all my invoices, all my purchasing invoices, all my receipts, like all the restaurant receipts, train receipts, whatever I spend money on. I collect them and I send them to my accountant, and he does what he does best and tries to save me money. As a self-employed person in Belgium, and I think in most of Europe, if not everywhere, you're obliged to pay Social Security and you're obliged to have a healthcare provider. The Social Security aspect, you can choose, like once you apply for a Social Security number, you can choose your providers freely. For Social Security, the prices don't matter because it's a fixed price, like everyone pays the same, right, depending on how much you earn. For healthcare, it can matter, the prices do vary, so make sure to just find the best options for you. Bear in mind that as a self-employed person, you generally pay more Social Security than an employed translator, an employed person, because in my case, I have to pay 100% of the Social Security myself. If I was employed, then it would be split 50-50 or even 60-40, I think, with the employer. And one of the last things you have to do, you have to open a professional business bank account. At least here you have to. In the Netherlands, I didn't have to do that, so make sure you know it if in your country you need to do that. And then when all this is complete, you can take all these documents and you can go to your commune and you can say, hey, I would like to change my profession, or I would like to register here as an indépendant, it's called here, an independent. This is what they call freelancers or self-employed here. And you can change your legal status here from employed or from unemployed, from student to indépendant. And then this immediately also triggers a few things, like here in my commune where I live, you're immediately in a register with all the other independents, and you get invited to things, you are in a database, you can reach out to people. And so it's just good to also for building a network. And after that, you are good to go. I mean, already before, like, don't wait until all is done before you start working, right? It will take a while. Like, some administrative stuff here takes forever. And this process that I mentioned now, it wasn't so smooth as I said. It happened a few times that I was told, I went to the bank and I was told you need to go to the Chamber of Commerce first. So I went there, or I called there and they said, okay, you need to open a bank account first. So, you know, there's not a lot of communication between all the parties involved, but just be patient and you will figure it out. And then, yeah, give your everything, and make a lot of money. So it's actually worth to be a freelancer, because only if you make a certain amount here, it gets interesting, because the taxes in the lower tax brackets, they just take a lot away from you, right? So think twice if you really want to go for it. If you can keep it somehow under the threshold where you don't need to register at all, which is, by the way, 9,000 euros, a bit over 9,000 euros. So if you're just doing something on the side, you're earning maybe 8 to 10,000. Try to keep it officially under 9,000, and then you don't have to register at all, right? It's just a side income that you're doing. If you go over it, if you really want to go for it, then go fully for it, because if you are in the 20-25k revenue per year, it's not really worth it. There you go, this is all I have. I hope this was interesting. It was very specific, but I'm happy to share a bit about the technical or the business side as well. Have a nice week. I see you next Monday with the next one. Bye bye.